Hi everyone, my name is Martha. I'm a relationship counselor and clinical sexologist, and I'm with my colleague and Tantra teacher Jon Gosling. In this video, I'm going to ask him, what is UK sexuality like? In a previous video, I asked my colleague in Australia what Australian sexuality is like. So I don't know, is there any difference?
I've never had the privilege of being of going to Australia, so I can't comment directly, but I can tell you some of the general things that I find in the UK, and having speak to colleagues around the world, what I see as some of the differences from what I've heard. So I think the great thing about Britain is that there's this kind of naughtiness around sexuality, that sexuality is something naughty. And there are genres of films which actually play on this. So for example, people may or may not be familiar with the Carry On films, which were the aspect of British sexuality that kind of was just, oh, isn't it naughty? And actually, if we can embrace the naughtiness and get a sense of the fun with sexuality rather than taking it too seriously. And I think that's an important aspect that's present in Britain, tapping into that sense of fun. And at the same time, there is a tremendous fear of sexuality. And I think the naughtiness comes from recognizing that sexuality isn't open. So again, there's another term that's often used about the British, which is the stiff upper lip, which is holding back and keeping our emotions in check. Yeah. And not allow, and that's because sometimes when we get emotional, our lips tremble a little bit, and it's holding the energy back. It's actually holding the energy back and keeping ourselves repressed. So one of the things that happens in Britain is, in order to free ourselves up, we often drink to excess to help us relax. And that drinking culture that comes about is a means of letting ourselves go and express. And we can do that in lots of different ways. And one of those is to feel free sexually. And you know, there's lots of instances of people having drunken sex and then regretting it afterwards because they've allowed the drink to overcome their boundaries and judgment. And I think it's really important that we have a balance between holding ourselves back and letting ourselves go, and doing that in a conscious way, and working with our boundaries and consent and feeling into that, but feeling the freedom to be who we are.
Yeah, and thanks for sharing all this. It is very insightful into what you mentioned, the stiff upper lip, and how it connects with holding our emotions in, and with people drinking a lot to relax, and basically it's all around inhibition and politeness. Yeah, it does come across in my work with clients from UK that they do have difficulties talking about sex. And of course, it's not easy for everybody, actually, Asian, people from UK or US. I think it's just in a different way. I think you're right in people in UK tend to be very polite. Yes. So I'm also reminded, be more polite. Okay, so thanks for this video, Jon.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure.